Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.
It is that time once again. Kenny, my friend, I have to thank you, Kenny Casanova, filling in. Look at you, man. You put in the extra work, man. You talk college hoops. You talk NBA hoops. You do the Renegade rundown. I've even seen you on lockdown, brother. You are all over when it comes to PCN, and we love you and we thank you. So thank you for joining me once again on another edition of Unfiltered Sports. What's going on, my brother?
Nothing, man. A lot of things going on, man. A lot of action, man. This is getting to the best time of the year. You got college, NBA. You got the World Baseball Classic. Everything's going on right now in sports. So it's a great time, and as sports fans, man, we just ready to get ready, man. That's it.
I mean, it is what a time to be alive, man.
Yes.
Oh my God, indeed. I absolutely love it. The World Baseball Classic, I definitely watched. And the thing is, Kenny, is that baseball is a weird love for me because if you know Marcus Mack, if you know the Mac man, you know I'm about NFL. You know I'm about NBA. But what a lot of people don't know is that baseball is to my heart. I grew up collecting baseball cards. My dad was a baseball pitcher, a really good baseball pitcher. Probably could have had pitched in college if he hadn't been drafted for Vietnam. So baseball is in my DNA. It's something that I hold special. Now, is it more important to me than basketball or football? Maybe not as much, but it still holds a lot of weight for me. I still love to watch a good baseball game. I love to watch exciting baseball, and I love to keep up with the sport in general. And I think that this World Baseball Classic, and we'll get into scores, but the importance of this of what's been going on, I think is bigger than that. I think that this has been absolutely phenomenal for baseball, and the fact that the USA is now headed to the championship, and all eyes are going to be glued on Team USA around the world. I think that that's a great thing, and you got to look at some of the players. Like, how many people are really sitting talking about Gunnar Henderson when the season starts? Not going to be many. Even though Gunnar Henderson is one of the best players, and he's one of the top 10, 20 players in baseball, but you're not going to hear Gunnar Henderson's name because of the team he plays on, and there's no postseason action for him. But you get a chance to see Gunnar now on the big stage. Bobby Witt Jr. You get a guy that plays for the Kansas City Royals. You're not going to see him play for the Royals, but you're getting to see his talent on the big stage, and wow, impressive. And last night was with it came with just as much excitement. Talking about Gunnar Henderson, he was the first one to kick it off with the home run to tie the game, and then they got a second home run to push him over the top, and it sealed the deal. And I just thought that was phenomenal, the way the pitching, the defense, and the key hit came through for the United States to win. And really, it should have been 3-1. Let's be honest. If Judge isn't robbed of a home run, because I thought that thing was gone myself when he hit it. I said, United States up 3, and then this guy's back to the wall, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, he's still running. It was like one of those to stop running, and he kept running, and it was like, oh, he's gonna catch this, but it was just still plenty of excitement. Like I said, one homer provided early by Gunnar Henderson, and then the next home one was provided by Anthony. And the nice part about it is that I was watching both, like in real time. I didn't have to see a replay. I wasn't wasn't looking off somewhere on my phone or messing around. Like I was actually looking at the game. And I said, oh, he got all that. Oh, that's gone. That's gone. And man, and then the pitching came through. Paul Schemes, excellent job. Miller came to close it out, but the guys in between that, they got the Schemes and Miller. Hats out to Rogers, Jacks, Bernard, and Whitlock. They all came in and pitched scoreless.
Mm-hmm.
And the only guy that gave up a hit was Bernard. He gave up 2 hits. Everybody else shut the door. That was some good baseball.
Yeah. Look, man, I'm not the biggest baseball guy. You won't ever hear me say, "Hey, I'm this and I'm that." But when I do tune in, I tune in more towards like August. When they get to August, I'm like, all right, I can really focus because there's so many games. But this World Baseball Classic got me excited actually for the opening day. It did. It might have turned me into it might have turned me into a full-time fan. I might this year for the first time watch 162 games of baseball this year. I kind of want to, I was like, let me try to get more into baseball because it's not like it's a bad sport. It's just a long season. That's it. It's just a long season.
It's also the fault of Major League Baseball that doesn't market their stars properly.
No.
Really, the only person that you hear about is Ohtani, and a lot of Ohtani's fan base comes with the fact of his international appeal as well as his appeal on the American stage. So he's getting fanfare and big accolades from 2 different markets, which drives his popularity even more. But this World Baseball Classic has now given you a chance to recognize some of the other stars in the major league, and
Aaron Judge
gets you excited. You want to know, like, man, what's Judge gonna do this year? Like, man, that guy's been. You know what? Now that they've been mentioning this World Baseball, he has been killing it the last couple of seasons. Hey, Cal Schwarber, let me keep my eye on that guy. Hey, I mentioned him earlier, that Bobby Witt Jr. kid. Let me follow him a little bit closely. And then we go to the other side of it, the guys that played on the international teams. Man, let me tell you something right now. That Dominican Republic team,
loaded,
sir. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and act like the United States beat some scrubs. They beat a good team from Fernando Tatis Jr., Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Manny Machado, Rodriguez, Wells. Like, they got some guys, and their pitching did. I mean, look, they only gave up 2 runs. That just showed how dominant the United States pitching was. It was even better. And the defense, the defense on both sides. The score could have actually had been different if both sides hadn't played the way they played on the defensive end.
Yes. The way Aaron Judge, that arm, when he got gunned down Tatis from second to third, I was like, oh my gosh!
I'm looking at it, and the ball's hit. I'm like, oh man, Tatis.
Oh, he got a third. Yeah.
No. I wasn't only just thinking going to third. I thought that the way Tatis got the jump, I'm like, he's going home.
Yeah, he was right. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see Judge gunning the ball, and I'm like, wait a minute.
He got him.
Got him. Man, boy, it was beautiful.
That's what I was happy about too, because you get to see Aaron Judge on the big stage outside of the World Series, and you get to see him, give him more visibility, because outside of Ohtani, he's the best player in the league. I mean, he's been consistent all these years, 50-run home runs, MVPs, a World Series appearance. It wasn't his fault they didn't win in the playoffs last year. We can actually say that last year. So
Judge has done everything he can.
Yes, everything he can. And the good part is he got to get on that big stage and he hit some home runs and made some crucial defensive plays. Even the sliding catch he made. I was like, Aaron Judge, you too big to be this agile. You know, it's just not fair. some of the stuff going out
But
there.
he is, and it's a special guy to watch, and I absolutely love it. It's. I'm gonna tell you this. Yeah, it reinvigorated me for sure. I know you mentioned it earlier about getting out more excited about opening season, and I have to agree with that. I'm right on board with that. I'm very excited about opening season now, even more than I was, and I'm already excited about opening season. Anyway, I'm a baseball guy, but this got me really, really pumped up. And so, this was great. This was great. This was great for the average fan. This was great for the in-depth, you know what I'm saying, crazed fan. This has been a little dose for everybody, young people, old people. It's been phenomenal. And like I say, hats out to the United States for winning, pushing into the finals. And we got to wait to see how it's going to play out for this final game to see who they're going to play. I believe. And let me look here and see what we got going on for the in terms of
Italy?
schedule. What the schedule looks like. I believe it's Italy and Venezuela just playing today. Yeah, Italy and Venezuela playing today. But actually, game's going to be going to probably once we end. Game's going to start 8:00 Eastern time. So everybody's going to get a chance to actually check that out if they're really interested in seeing who the United States is going to play. And Italy's got. Make no mistake, you're not watching Team Italy. Really, you're watching an American team that's got Italian roots. So you know, like I would say before anybody just thought about turning the TV off and going, I'm not watching Italy. Italy doesn't mean any. Italy's got a lot of American players on it, so it still holds interest to watch Italy play. And Venezuela's got some really good players also. This is it'll definitely be interesting because remember, Italy beat the United States last week and had the United States on the ropes of being eliminated because they miscalculated the seeding in bracket, and Italy turned around and beat Mexico to get them back in. So if Italy ultimately loses to the United States, it's Italy's fault.
It is.
It really is. You could have kept them out just by losing to Mexico. All you had to do was lose to Mexico, and you keep them out. And you instead beat Mexico. You let them in, and now that might come back to burn you because you best believe the United States ain't gonna take you lightly in this game.
Yeah,
they're gonna be ready.
They're ready for that one. Yes.
So no, I'm pumped. It's gonna be huge. It's something to look forward to, and then the final is going to be played out tomorrow. So everyone can get ready for that. It's going to be played out tomorrow at 8:00 Eastern time, 7:00 Central time, and 5:00 out on the West Coast. And that's going to be on Fox. So make sure you check that out. I'm definitely going to be tuned into that. Kenny, it's been a wild week period. When me and you ended our show last Monday, NFL free agency had just started. It was moves flying off the board. Me and you were breaking down, you know, what surprised us, what didn't surprise us. It was so much happening. It was hard to even like kind of filter through like, guess what? Everybody's done something, you know? And so it's like, okay, finally, now that you figured out that every team has done something, who helped themselves? Who just did enough to get by? These are the questions, I guess, that are now being left to be answered by a lot of teams that their fan base are posing. But the biggest move that ended up happening, and I wish that we had, you know, and and I'll tell you what, I know you got a chance to talk about it on Rundown. I know that they talked about it on OTST. Great show, by the way. I love those guys, man. Casey and his dad, they kill it. I know they talked about it on Lockdown. But the trade for Max Crosby that then happened, but then didn't happen. And then the Ravens make this pivot move to sign Trey Hendrickson. And when we were talking at the time, remember, I was telling you that I'm like, something's up. right? I'm going, why isn't Trey Hendrickson signed? And they come to find out that it was actually a $10 million difference between what most teams were trying to offer him and what he wanted.
Yeah.
I know people have talked about it in nauseum, but me and you really haven't got a chance. And I got some quick thoughts on it, and I definitely want to hear yours. Do you think that the Ravens pulled a slick one? Did the Ravens say, hey, oh, wait a minute, no one has paid Trey Hendrickson, and Max Crosby's knee is not looking that good from all these MRI reports we didn't got from doctors. We can keep our 2 first-round picks and just give Trey Hendrickson what he's asking for, which is still a little bit less than Max Crosby. Then let's move on.
They pulled a slick one. They think they slick. Yeah, they think they slick. Baltimore pulled a slick one. What they did was they looked and seen. Everybody knew Max Crosby got surgery. They knew Max Crosby got surgery. Of course, his knee wasn't going to look perfect. He just had surgery. Of course not. But you still traded for him. But then you see, hold up. Trey Hendrickson is a cheaper option. He's less money. And we don't have to go 2 first-round picks to get him.
Yep.
So why not just get him? But see, what they don't realize is that he's still not the player that Max Crosby is. See, Max Crosby is a football player. I like Trey Hendrickson. But to me, all he does is get to the quarterback. What else do you do? You're not getting the player that Max Crosby is.
There's an energy and vibe that comes with certain players. I look at Trey Hendrickson, and remember this, okay? Stats are nice, but look at it deeper than that. So I'll give you a perfect example. Myles Garrett with the Cleveland Browns. Okay, Cleveland Browns are a dumpster fire, but you know that the defense is there. You know that the defense is there, and one of the reasons you know that defense is there is because of Myles Garrett. It's not just the sacks, it's the pressures. It's the constant collapsing of the pocket that also creates problems. You don't have to always sack the quarterback for you to affect his timing and rhythm.
Yes.
And so now, why am I bringing that example up? Easily. Trey Hendrickson was on these Cincinnati Bengals teams that I literally heard the words, Cincinnati has no defense. So that's a complete difference from the Cleveland Browns, which is just as much a dumpster fire. And they don't have a quarterback. But they got Myles Garrett, and around him is a vicious defense. Well, Cincinnati has Trey Hendrickson. If Trey Hendrickson was anywhere on Myles Garrett's level, wouldn't you have built around him like Cleveland has said? People have offered Cleveland the house for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett asked to be traded, and Cleveland said, listen, shut up, take more money.
We'll give you 40. Yep.
You're not going anywhere.
Yes.
Just stop with this crazy talk and take more money. That's what Cleveland's solution was. So this is what people need to understand, that what you just said there about Trey Hendrickson is spot on. If he was this game-wrecking generational talent, Cincinnati would have paid him. It's not like they got all these game changers on defense.
They don't.
Cincinnati's gambling and betting that they can do it again in the draft instead of having to spend that money. And now, okay, the other side of it. Yes, you are right about Max Crosby being that different player. He's a game wrecker. He's someone that can collapse the pocket and cause pain and chaos even without getting a sack. That ferociousness, that ferocity that you need in the locker room, on the sideline, and on the football field. It's exactly why the Raiders are going to have no problem taking him back. The Raiders signed it they needed to sign. They realized that, hey, we still got enough money to pay him. We got the first round pick still. We just got the coach that we like. You know what? We were trying to get 2 extra first round picks for him. But if that's not going to work, it doesn't hurt us to keep Max Crosby in the building. And that's the difference. Look at that. The difference is that they could have still said, you know what, we traded you, fine, we're finding another team. And they wouldn't have got 2 first rounders. They still would have got compensation. But they decided to say, you know what, we're keeping you. Whereas in Cincinnati was more than happy to let Trey Hendrickson go in free agency. That does gotta make you pause for a second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like you said, they're the worst defense. They let go of their supposed best player. But like I try to tell people, Trey Hendrickson, like, he's a pass rusher. So yes, he is that. That's what he does. He's one-dimensional. But there's more to it than just that. It's the tackle for loss. What are you doing to impact different stages of the defense? If you look at all the other guys that are in his division that are like that, the TJ Watts, they have impact on the game. They're not getting turnovers. They're getting tackle for losses. They're batting balls down at the line of scrimmage and picking them off at the line. They're doing every other thing. Pass rushing is cool to get a guy. Okay, because I got a Ravens fan in the chat. My cousin Jay Howe, he's in the chat saying the Ravens don't need a run stop. We need pass rush. Trey is a pass rusher. Y'all need way more than that, and you know better than that. He knows football, so I'm not going to excuse him for that statement.
Let me ask this real quick, Kenny.
Mm-hmm.
Was Trey Hendrickson the side piece? Was he the second choice? Was he the the hot girl, we can't get the hot girl, so we gonna get that girl?
Yeah.
So how could you sit here and celebrate when you took your side piece because your main chick didn't work out?
That's all that was. He's saying it was cheaper to bring the side piece on. That's all that was.
It was cheaper. But here's what I believe. I believe the Ravens thought that Trey Hendrickson was going to be gone. I believe that the Ravens thought that when the free agency market opened, they had already identified, hey, we got our guy. We got Max Crosby. And when they saw after the opening day of free agency and Trey Hendrickson was still sitting there,
let's pull a move.
They knew all they had to do was just offer a little bit more than what everybody else was offering because everybody else was trying to lowball him. So yes, it was dirty business. Yes, it was dirty by the Ravens because the Ravens knew that. The Ravens knew that other teams were trying to make him come down in price. And then the Ravens said, well, if we just offer a little bit more money than what these other teams are offering, and it's still less than what Max Crosby is going to get anyway, let's just go that route. And that's what they did.
Yeah, that's exactly what they did. I mean, listen, it's a shrewd move. My thing with Raven fans, I just want them to admit that it was a dirty move. That's all. Because you didn't only just mess up the business of it. You messed up Max Crosby's trade value now because you're talking about his knee. To me, that's so dirty. And that's why he's like, you know what? I'm going to just go back to the Raiders. I'm going to buy in what's going on here and do what I got to do because now who's going to try to trade for him? According to the Ravens, his knee is bone on bone and all this kind of craziness that's coming out.
He's got an arthritic knee, and it is what it is. And guess what? There's a lot of players in the league with arthritic parts in their body, and they're still playing and highly effective.
Highly levels.
So to try to just put him in a box and say that that's where your career is going to be, I think that that's wrong.
Yeah.
What I will say is this, though, is that I am not going to blame any team if they see a situation and they say, you know what, we shouldn't have got in this. But just be honest about it. Don't because you know what, there is no penalty. There's no penalty. But the Ravens are trying to make it sound like, oh, hey, they even said, we were trying to sign both of them. Max Crosby, no, you were. Stop it.
No, you were. Don't lie to yourself.
Stop it. You saw an opportunity. You saw a tremendous opportunity to win and get ahead and save your draft picks, and you jumped all over it. It's exactly what you did. You jumped all over, and you know what? I can't. at one point I can say what the Ravens did was dirty, but at the same time, it's also other teams' fault too, because if another team had met Trey Hendrickson's asking price day one, Trey Hendrickson wouldn't have been there for the Ravens to make that move. So, as much as we want to pick on the Ravens, I think it was a dirty move in some ways, but it's also business.
It's also business, yeah.
And business is dirty. Business is dirty, and guess what? Opportunity is sometimes doesn't look pretty. And opportunity was presented to the Ravens when other teams hadn't signed Trey Hendrickson. If another team like the Eagles or somebody had signed Trey Hendrickson, they would have had to live with the choice they had made. But when they saw he was still available, and I remember us talking about, we were saying like, man, Trey's still out there, and I'm surprised he's still out there. And the next thing you know, Trey ain't out there anymore. So, yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy turn of events. It
was, because we was talking about Max Crosby on the Ravens. We had a whole conversation about it, like what it's going to look like and everything like that. Then literally as we got off, my phone dinged and said the trade is waved off. I'm like, what?
Wait a minute. Like, hold, and then but I'm gonna tell you, here's the funny part though. When I saw that the trade was called off, I knew they were gonna sign Trey Hendrickson.
Yes, yeah.
I had no doubt in my mind when I saw that Trey Hendrickson was still a free agent and they had rescinded that trade. I said, watch, the next thing they're gonna announce is that they signed Trey Hendrickson.
Yep,
and that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly what happened. They played par for the course on that one for sure. And you know what? Hey man, hats off to you for some business moves. Hey. Now, me and you talked yesterday about the other news that happened last week when we got up, and that was Bam Adebayo's 83. And so if anybody wants to hear our opinion on that, just go watch our Hoops show yesterday. It was an amazing show that we dropped in there. Our Hoops will be every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Central, and out on the West Coast, that's going to be 5 out on the West Coast? No. 4 out on the West Coast. 4 out on the West Coast. 4 p.m. out on the West Coast. So make sure you check us out every Saturday to get to Hoops action. But yeah, that happened, and it was like, wow, that was kind of crazy turn of events, and we see the whole Venom turn towards Bam, and it's been a back and forth, and I just, kind of like I said, we talked about, I have my opinions, but I just don't think that he deserves some of the nastiness, because the bottom line is that you still didn't break Wilt's record. And so, and I'm going to stand by that. Now, news that did happen also in today's NFL, because we are going to talk some NBA, but there was another move that I saw today happen. And this one holds a little bit personal interest to me just because of my Chicago roots. But I also thought it was kind of a sneaky big move. The Jets traded Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to look over that. They're going to act like it was nothing. And I don't think it was. I think with Eric Bieniemy in the fold, with Andy Reid, the quarterback whisperer, with a guy like Mahomes that he could sit and develop and learn from, I think that this could be the best situation for Justin Fields. If he's ever going to resurrect his career, it's going to happen right there in Kansas City. That's where it's going to happen. This is where this is the first team that Justin has played with. It's actually good. Like even when you was with your Steelers, it wasn't that good. Let's not act like the Steelers were that good and Justin and Justin was so horrible. They actually wanted Justin. They just wanted him back at a cheaper price, and the Jets were willing to pay more money.
They're willing to pay, yeah.
And he honestly, I feel bad for him because he probably would have been better off staying in Pittsburgh. Yeah. But I get it. Business is business. And especially when you're being offered your first big contract, you're taking the money. and you're being given you're given that opportunity. You're going to be the starting quarterback, and so he took it, and I think it was a mistake, horrible mistake, because the Jets are just an absolute dumpster fire.
Yeah.
And I think that now he's landed with a team where he's, like I said, if his career is going to get resurrected, if he's going to be the next Sam Darnoldson, or what's the kid up at Tampa? What's the quarterback for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Baker.
Yeah, if he's going to be the next Baker Mayfield, somebody like that, the next Geno Smith, somebody that can find his career after being bounced from multiple teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is where it's going to happen for him, right there in Kansas City. And I'll tell you what, too. I think we're going to see some. We might see if Mahomes isn't ready for day one, you might see some special things from Justin. Because I know Mahomes ain't going to play in the preseason. So Justin will definitely get his run with the ones in the preseason. He might even play that first game. And this will be the best coaching staff outside of Tomlinson, who I thought Mike Tomlinson was an excellent head coach. But Mike Tomlinson is a different type of coach. He's not a quarterback whisperer. You know what I'm saying? Andy Reid is a quarterback whisperer. He's got a proven track record with quarterbacks. And so if it's going to happen for this kid, this is where it's going to happen, brother.
Yeah, listen, I actually like the move I love the move for him. I love that he's getting the staff, like you said, that can help slow the game down for him, because, a lot of times Justin sometimes plays a little too fast or he plays a little too slow. And so he just needs somebody to make the game be medium speed for him. Something that's going to just, so that he can see the field, react at the right times, everything like that. So it's a good staff for him. But also, I actually think he's probably going to play a lot of the season, because the Kansas City's moving like a team who's punting on next year. Mm-hmm. There are moves that they're doing.
Well, they traded away their best cornerback, right?
Both of the cornerbacks too.
They like, hey, you guys get out of here. Just
they're
right
selling. Yeah. So when you see a team do that with Patrick Mahomes on the injury thing, I just think they're probably knowing, like, you know what, we're gonna let Mahomes really rest for a year, let him get himself fully healthy. Let Justin come in. Let's see what he got. Let him build up his stock and see if he can go somewhere else and really actually get a chance to start and put a full staff around him and everything. Because if you think about it, ever since Justin Fields came into the league, what has been stable around him?
Nothing.
He's been firestorm after firestorm, dumpster fire after dumpster fire. I mean, it's just been bad for him. And so some of it is, like I try to tell people, some of it is his own doing, but a lot of it is what's around him. It's just it hasn't been solid.
Look, as good as we've seen a lot of quarterbacks, there's only so much you can do. Everybody believes that Caleb has got that energy. Caleb Williams is going to be that quarterback. But we also saw what it looked like his rookie season when he had horrible coaching around him. Mm-hmm. And the team had given up because of that horrible coaching. It looked bad. It didn't matter how talented he was. It looked bad. And it's like night and day what we saw with him from his rookie year to his second year. And some of it has to do with growth, but a lot of it was coaching and the team around you and how they play around you. And so, I think that, like you said, this is a great opportunity for. And when I heard the trade announced today, I said, you know what? Finally, this kid gets a real chance, because he didn't stand a chance with the Jets. And then when the owner comes out there and just blows you up like that,
that was crazy.
I thought that was ridiculous. Like, dude, the guy didn't even have Garrett Wilson. He was injured for the whole year. He only had Breece Hall. Who else did he have to even be effective? What's your offensive line? Oh, all of a sudden now you got the number one offensive line in the NFL all of a sudden? Wait a minute. No, you don't. But this guy's expected to be an MVP performing player in those situations. I just think it's kind of funny how that
Yeah,
narrative, how that narrative, changes when it needs to fit what someone else wants to sell. And so finally, if he cannot play, if Justin Fields truly cannot play, we're going to find out.
oh
We're going
yeah,
to find out. It's going to get answered. If he cannot play, you are going to know after getting him being paired with Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. It'll be definitive. Like,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
And I'm glad and I'm happy for that because you know what I think that, like I said, it's a situation where it's a question I've wanted answered personally because I have had some personal interest in him from when he was drafted to the Chicago Bears. But outside of that, it's not like, oh, I'm some Justin Fields fan, because I'm not. I mean, I just want to see what really he could be because I never felt like he got a real opportunity in Chicago. He was there in Pittsburgh and he was the backup. Because right when they brought him there to be Russell Wilson's backup, and that's what that was. And then he went to a dumpster fire of the Jets. So I'm interested in seeing what this kid's real potential could be with a real solid football team and real coaching staff around him.
Yeah, I think, like I said, sky's the limit for him if he really taps into and buys into what Andy's selling. Because, like you said, if Andy can't fix you, then you're not fixable.
You're not fixable.
If Andy Reid can't fix you, you're not fixable.
It's not gonna happen. And I'm gonna and I know for those out there probably still even wonder, what do you mean Andy Reid is okay? Yeah, Andy got Patrick Mahomes. Before Patrick Mahomes, there was a quarterback on that roster named Alex Smith,
Yes,
who was a throwaway, who had become an NFL throwaway. And when he linked with Andy Reid, he played some of his best football.
Pro Bowl.
Okay? Some of his best football as soon as he linked with Andy Reid. So it ain't just Patrick Mahomes, okay? There's a proven track record with this guy from Donovan McNabb all the way to Patrick Mahomes, where he has shown the ability to develop and bring the best out of a quarterback. So, yeah, this is going to be his best shape. Let's go ahead and pivot, and we're going to talk some NBA because we were talking in pre-production, and I just had this thought in my head because as the NBA season is getting ready to wrap up. It was something that we actually didn't talk about on Primetime Hoops, and I figure we'll talk about it right now in terms of MVP.
Yeah,
Is it Shay's at this point? Just nobody else even has a chance.
I want to say, yeah, but I don't want it to be. I don't think it should be. But yeah, it looks like the narrative is leaning Shea heavy right now, and that's why I said MVP is such a political award when it comes down to it. It's all about the narrative. What narrative do we want to push?
Who starts saying it first? Like if one big pundit comes out and says, "Oh, Joker's having an MVP season," all of a sudden it seems like pundit after pundit after pundit now is saying this guy is having an MVP, is the MVP. And I just feel like this year, because there's been a lot of parity this season. There's been injuries to some key players. And it just really hasn't been any NBA player that you could point to and say, "Oh my goodness, he dominated the NBA for the last 3 months," or he, So it's pretty much just been Shea doing what Shea does.
Yeah,
and that's just be extremely effective in helping his team win basketball games. And oh, by the way, he averages 30 points a game while doing it. So it just kind of makes that narrative that much easy to just, say, hey, you know what? It's Shay's again. But here's where I guess it gets murky for me. Because as much as I can sit here and me and you both can sit here and just talk very openly and say that, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is MVP, it still isn't like, it's not like when we talked about past dominant players. If he's about to win back-to-back MVP, this is the most, in terms of the NBA, and I'm talking about pundits as well, least that anybody has spoke about a back-to-back. People speak more about LeBron James and out-of-shape Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard not playing, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, but Anthony Edwards. Before you finally mention Shea. And so I posed this question to you in the chat group, and I'm very interested in hearing your opinion about this. What is the reluctance? Why is it the hesitation? Even from the modest NBA fan to the most hardcore NBA fan, it seems to be this big reluctance to name Shea as the face of the NBA. Why? Is it because he's from Canada?
You know what? I think everything can be true when it comes to this conversation. I think some of it could be that, but I also think what it is Shea aesthetically, when you watch him, it's okay. It's nothing spectacular. It's not like a LeBron James, I'm flying through the air. It's not like a
flying dunk,
or Luka Doncic, I'm making hard shots over the basket, or from deep three, or something like that. And the thing about Shea that a lot of people don't like is he is a foul merchant. He will create contact. He is not aesthetically pleasing on the eyes. Ant-Man will dunk on you. Ant-Man will cross you up, shoot a three over your eye. That's aesthetically more pleasing.
Let's also remember Ant-Man's a character. He loves to talk trash. He loves to get the crowd going.
He doesn't say anything. Shea doesn't really talk like that. And so that's another thing with Shea. The markability problem with him on top of all of that. But I think it's his style of play too. I think the way he plays basketball, I don't think a lot of people like it because it seems like he's foul baiting a lot. Like the foul baiting thing, I watched a compilation video of it because I'm like, let me see. Am I tripping? He foul baits a lot, but I blame more of the referees than him. I'm like, y'all allowing him to do it. I blame more the referees than him.
But it is also a part of the game because, hey, if he gets the guy up in the air and that guy's in the air and then now he jumps in, of course he's throwing his body into the guy, but if there's contact, you have to call it. There's contact. And that guy should have stayed sound. He shouldn't have got up and he shouldn't have let him pump. He shouldn't have let Shea pump fake him off his feet. And now you're exposed in the air to where he can now foul bait. And so, it's two sides to that. And I'm not necessarily a big fan, but I also am okay with it because, hey, that's you knowing how to play the fundamentals, using your pivot foot, using another player's aggression against him. That's all a part of the game also. And make no mistake about it, Jordan foul baited, LeBron foul baited, maybe not on a higher level as Shea has kind of worked it out in his game, but as Shea has kind of figured out, hey, I get the guy off the spot. I'm going to get these fouls. I'm going to get these calls. And he's right about that. And so I also think that a big problem is because of timing. I think that since the moment that Victor Wembanyama came into the league, it was because of somebody creating that excitement. You got this 7'4" guy that's a guard with guard skills. Let's just be honest. Victor Wembanyama is a 7'4" wing player. But the reason why they put him at center is just because of his height. He's got the body of a guard, though. If you look at how thin he is, he's got the body of a guard. It just so happens that he grew to be 7'4". If Victor Wembanyama ever figured out that I'm the tallest player on the court mostly every game, and all I got to do is get around the bucket and I'm going to score. If he figures that part out of his game, then that's when the cheat code is going to be unlocked. Even though people want to make him the face, the reality is Victor Wembanyama is nothing more than an all-star. 24 points a game, 11 rebounds, 3 blocks, 1 steal, 3 assists. That's numbers that Akeem Olajuwon put up on the reg.
Yeah.
Now that's not to say he wouldn't go to the Hall of Fame off those numbers, but he was pegged as the face of the NBA. Akeem Olajuwon was never the face of the NBA, as that's my point. As great as Akeem is, as great of a player as Akeem Olajuwon was never thought about being the face of the NBA, putting up numbers like that. And so the idea was that Wembanyama was going to come into this league and he was going to be averaging 30-something plus a game, along with 11-something rebounds, shooting threes from everywhere, blocking shots. And some of it he's lived up to, but some of it is not. And I think a lot of it is because of way too many three-pointers, in my opinion. And I know that that's a part of the game now, and it's good that a big man can shoot. But if he was shooting 40% from that three-point line, I'd be way more okay. He's shooting 36%. And so I think, my opinion, less threes, more down low play would garner him more points, which would equal more of the conversation of MVP. And once he gets into that conversation, then we can start talking about face of the league. See, I just find it hard that a person can be anointed the face of the league without even winning the MVP. Like, people were trying to pick Anthony Edwards and say, oh, he's going to be the next face of the league. How, when he can't even win an MVP? You can't be the face of the league if you can't win an MVP. Can he, right or wrong?
Yeah, no, I think you need accolades too. I think accolades on top of,
you gotta win at least one MVP, right?
Yeah, you gotta have something. Yeah, you gotta have something. You have to have something. I mean, that's just how all the faces of the league have been. They had to have the awards. You gotta have either the championships or the awards. One of the two.
I can't say you're the best player in the league if you're not even able to win best player in the season. Now, that's not to say that you got to win MVP every year. Michael Jordan didn't win MVP every year, although he probably could have. He probably could have, honestly. He probably could have, honestly. He probably could have just handed him the award every year. But it took the fun out of it, right? It got to a certain point. It was like, we got to pick other people. Otherwise, what's the point, right? Yeah. So, I'm not saying that the guy's got to win MVP every year. But I'm just saying that whoever the next face of the league, because the league is so reluctant to pick Shea, that if you want whoever you want to pick, they got to be better at least than Shea. Like, I can't make you the face of the league if you're not better than Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
How can I make you the face if you're not even better than him? And oh, by the way, Shea only has happened to be winning championships on top of MVPs as well.
Yeah. Yep. And so that's what boosts his case, for sure. I just think, like I said, his hold up is going to be the way people think of him, the narrative that surrounds.
Do you also think it's the shoe deal? Do you also think it's because he signed with who was that, Converse?
Yeah.
Because you don't see him in a lot of commercials, and I know some of that. I know that some of that's probably his choice. Yeah. But you know that if he was signed with Jordan or with Nike, you know that you would have already seen a massive campaign push out there for him and his signature shoe.
Like Ant-Man, they did that for Ant-Man.
Like right for Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Caitlin, but you see that you kind of do need all of it to come together. You kind of need all of it to come together and be one when you're trying to become if that's what your goal is, to become the face. A lot of these guys don't want it. They seen what LeBron went through. They seen what Kobe went through. They seen what Michael went through as far as the negativity that comes with that title. Do you even want that scrutiny on you? A lot of these guys don't want it, but I know one guy that does.
Who was that?
Wemby. He does not mind it. I've heard him say several times, give me all of that. But like you said, it's premature. His game ain't
not there yet.
At that point yet. But
will Wemby be the face of the NBA? Will Wemby become the face of the NBA? Can he become? I believe he can. I believe he will. But he's not yet.
Not yet. No, not yet.
And so, as LeBron James has clearly hit the end of his career, LeBron James is no longer the best player in the league. LeBron James, if people want to say that LeBron James is still the face of the league, then I guess you're just saying that out of his, longevity in his career, what he's done, and the fact that he's still playing.
And nobody
in my opinion, LeBron hasn't been the face of the league for some time, for the last 4 years, really since the bubble. Since they won that championship in the bubble, that was the last gas out of LeBron and him being the face of the league.
No, yeah, I understand that. I definitely think the only thing with LeBron is like nobody is like taking it from like as far as like I want it, give it to me. You know, that's the only thing. That's why people are like, let's just leave it LeBron until somebody decides to come snatch that title. And you can do it at this point now because he's not at the peak of his powers. And so the next guy that comes through, it won't even be a struggle to even become the face of the league. You know, there won't have to be a snatching like LeBron had to do with when Kobe was still in the league. You know what I'm saying?
And Jay House says, yes, LOL, it's SGA.
It's SGA.
Well, but our point is that we are saying that, but the league doesn't treat it like that, and nor do fans. If you were to go around and ask the average fan who's the face of the NBA, they're not gonna pick Shea. That's not gonna be the first name out of their mouth is SGA. I promise you. They might say Steph Curry's there.
Probably.
They might say Ant-Man. They might say Wembanyama.
Yeah.
But they're not saying SGA. They might even say Jokic.
Yeah, they're not saying SGA. Yeah. It's a lot of other different contenders. Like I try to say, I mean, to me, SGA might be on the Tim Duncan side of basketball.
Ooh, the Tim Duncan curse.
Yeah,
the Tim Duncan curse. Because make no mistake about it, that quiet, soft, go at my business. It did hurt Tim. I watched Tim play from college all the way through. Tim Duncan. I mean, man, look
at that career.
There's a lot of power forwards that play this game, and I'm going to tell you right now, I think Tim Duncan was the greatest power forward that ever played.
Easy.
Greatest power forward that ever played. Okay, but at the same time, how many novice fans, how many just casual fan would say that they would not? They would even they picked 6 other power forwards before they said Tim Duncan's name. You know, like I love the fact that you gave him that shout out yesterday when we were talking to 15. You know, and I thought that was I was like, that's why I loved your list because you didn't forget Duncan.
No, never could. I mean, my favorite player is Kobe Bryant. How could I forget about Tim Duncan? He grew in the same era. It's the same era.
Didn't he stand in the way a couple times?
He stood in the way for 4 feet. I was angry. I was very mad. Like, people don't realize that. I was so mad because I knew we were going to 4-peat. I knew New Jersey was on the other side. I said, we just got to get through San Antonio. And Tim Duncan said, not this time. Because we beat him all the other times. All the other times, smashed him, killed him. Tim Duncan said, not this time, though. Not this time.
He had a sneaky way about him, man.
Yes.
And when he got the rolling, there was nothing you could do. That bank shot was unstoppable. His passing was elite, and he had post moves on top of post moves.
Yes. Yeah, and that's the thing, Mr. Fundamental. That's why they called him that. Mr. Fundamental, man, because Tim Duncan was just that. And I think SGA might have that to him. That could be the thing. Because you got to shake the tree a little bit. You're going to have to do that if you want that title. The fact that he doesn't shake the tree and just goes about his business, I'm going to score 30, such and such and such and such. I think we would be more like ingratiate more of a Luka before we would with him. Even though they're both international, Luka would be more of the face just because Luka actually talks. Luka, you watch him, and he got that flair to him, and he'll give it to you. The Bulls found out you do not junk talk Luka. Because he dropped 51 on them after they was like, oh yeah, man, you ain't doing nothing tonight. He dropped 51. So
he's got that flair. He's got that prime energy. He's got that sense of really, putting on a show. And that's what it is that the face of the league is not just about playing great basket. It's about putting on a show. And that's just something that Shea doesn't do Now, as opposed to, like I say, the guy that they want to be the face. Oh, Victor Wembanyama can put on a show sometimes.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, he can. He can put on a show
on both ends. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He wouldn't shock me if in a couple years he got a quadruple double with blocks and assists and rebounds and points.
Oh yeah,
that wouldn't shock me. The David Robinson thing, that wouldn't shock me.
No,
that wouldn't shock me at all.
I'm telling you, not at all. So I mean, that's just a great breakdown right there, my brother. I appreciate you joining. Like I say, Kenny Casanova from the Renegade Rundown filling in for Cal Long, man. I thank you so much, brother. I appreciate it. It's been another great sports show here on Prime Coverage Sports Network, Unfiltered Sports. Come check us out every Monday, 7 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. Central, and 4 p.m. out west. We break it down here, and we always keep it unfiltered on Unfiltered Sports with Mac and Cal, Prime Coverage Sports Network. We will see you guys next week, Brother Kenny. Thank you again.
No problem. Peace.
Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.